Today's episode is not for the faint of heart. In fact, it's triple X. Let me set the stage for you. The curtain comes up and there are amazing electric lights followed on the stage and an ensemble of dancers. But the only person you can keep your eyes on is the fiery redhead who's in the center of the stage. This has been my experience and many others. But the fire wasn't lit that night on stage or even in rehearsal. This comes from years dating back of adversity, challenges, hard work, making important decisions to push herself, which has helped her grow from being a traditional dancer to now an event producer, choreographer, and creative director. I'm so excited to have a special guest today here on NameDropper. This is a podcast where I share stories of success with the people I know best. She is the creative director for Sirens Heels Company, a member of the Escape Dance Company, a teacher at Escape Dance Academy. Please welcome Ms. Red, Michelle Torrance.
Hello. Oh my God. Thank you so much for having me.
Girl.
It's been a long time coming.
This is the moment.
It really has been.
I am so proud because a lot of my friends who come on the podcast have had careers for 20 and 30 years. They reached the pinnacle 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I like that I'm getting you right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
The iron is hot.
Yeah.
And I feel like 6 months ago it would have been different. A year ago would have been different.
Absolutely.
You're there. You're getting there. And there's always somewhere else to go next. But I'm just thinking back at how far you've come in like 2 years, 3 years.
It's been a while actually. I think it's been about 4 years now since our very first conversation.
So let's take it back. Let's circle back. I got to know where this fire comes, where this passion comes from, all of it, because it truly inspires me. And I have tried to be a source for you and a support, but in the end, like I'm the one who received a blessing because it's just been incredible to see someone grow. And like the only thing that makes me happy to live in my dreams is watching someone I really care about live their dreams. So I'm so excited. Let's not get emotional yet.
Look, I am a Scorpio Pisces. I am always emotional. I will be crying in and out.
Yeah. Well, you're allowed, as long as we also laugh and find
Yes,
fun.
absolutely.
Take me back to Nevada. Young Ms. Red.
Oh my
What
God.
were you like in school? Were you a troublemaker? Were you a rule follower? Give me a rundown.
I was not misread back when I was younger. So when I was younger, I'm the youngest in my family.
Mm.
I am the baby. I actually wasn't supposed to come out, and I was a miracle baby. And here I am, 45 years later. But in school when I was younger, I was very ahead. I was the one that was in the gate classes, or I would always be correcting the papers or helping the teacher, or just always trying to be the one that was making people happy. I had a lot of struggles in my own family. So I was the one that was trying to make sure everybody had a perfect smile on their face. There was no drama because there was already so much drama happening. I was the one that was trying to make sure it didn't happen.
Yeah. We set the stage for our own trauma. I mean, when you're in that situation, the only thing you can provide to help at that age is organization and holding it together.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I thought was helpful was just being quiet and being silent.
Do you think it was the intuition you were born with that caused you to be so bright in school and learning how to read people and absorb information and adapt to environments around you? Maybe your family situation as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of that, I didn't understand my intuition. I'm also, I do have ADHD. It's something that I just found out late in life. But going back and thinking about all the things in my life, my high energy all the time, masking around and being the person that can fit in every single group. And so I feel like for sure that was kind of a survival technique for me. But my intuition, even throughout many different experiences in my life, has saved my life multiple times. I think I didn't really fully understand it when I was young until I started to feel resistance from people.
It intimidates them.
And it was the moment, I think it was like, I was probably like around 7 or 8 or 9, around that age, where I heard too much for the first time. And so that was what was grounded inside of me. And so I kept living my life and making choices that would prevent somebody saying too much. And
Like
so
being guarded, putting a block.
oh, yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely.
I did the opposite. I became the person that everyone could pour into.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was always very somebody that people would come and talk to. I mean, they would feel comfortable with me. I think it was because I did have a sense of shelter
Mhm.
around. So they felt like they could come into my world and tell me everything and then release and then walk away knowing that my container would hold it.
Mhm.
The good news is as I got older, I never remembered everything that they
Yeah.
told me, but
The crazy part is that we developed that way to hold on to things for ourselves,
yeah.
and other people end up taking advantage of it.
I think it's taken me a very long time, and I've been reflecting over the last couple years, but really over this last 7 or 8 months, I've been reflecting a lot in my life because I've noticed some memories that have popped up into my head about who I was back then and different points in my life
Mm.
where I made a choice um, that propelled me into the pathway of who I am today. And there's many moments where it was like I would pour a lot of my energy into people, and it wasn't reciprocated.
Mm-mm.
And of course, it comes from abandonment background. It comes from rejection
Need of
background,
approval.
the need for approval, validation, and that's been the work I've been working on
Mhm.
since I turned 40. Really,
Mm.
that's been the heart of my healing.
So something I want to do, just an extension of NameDropper. I explored this idea, which I absolutely love. Do you know who Law Roach is? The stylist.
Yes.
Sal Zendaya and Celine Dion, lots of celebrities. He retired as a stylist and now has renamed himself a design architect because he had so many monikers. And so he just made one title, design architect. And I was like, I need to do that. My resume always says singer, dancer, actor, producer, choreographer,
Yeah.
photographer. And I was like, I'm going to be a vision architect. Like, if you have a
Yes.
vision, I can create it. So I did that. So with your monikers, we don't have a big name for you yet,
Yeah.
but I want to start with you are well versed in astrology. That's your first moniker. Actually, before that, we talked about you being intuitive.
Mhm.
So she's intuitive. She is well versed in astrology because we're going to keep adding as we go on today, and you're going to find out all the things. So tell me next where dance came in the journey. Take me through the transition as like you're leaving the home or where your next journey was.
So I feel like if we want to start with dance, I kind of want to start with the very first thing. So I've been a dancer my whole life. I've been dancing my whole life. I've been creating choreography my whole life since I was wee young because my safety zone was dancing. So I could go into my space and I could close my door and I could put on music and I could dance and that would take me away and put me into my little fantasy world.
Mm-hmm.
Where I wasn't involved in the yelling or hearing the yelling or feeling all of the pain. I started young, very, very young. When I was 9 years old, I think like fourth grade, was my first production that I made, actually. It was for the talent show. And I was Madonna and I had three background dancers and I created for Get Into the Groove. That was my song. I won the talent show. And so that was when I created my first stage show at 9 years old.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It was
and
always there.
It was always there. Yeah. And then my sister, she's my older sister, again, I'm the youngest. She was part of dance team. And so I would go to their rehearsals and I would just be involved and just watch everything. And so then I would just, again, just create dances in my room to everything. I've got JJ Fad's Supersonic is one of the
I
main
love
ones.
that.
I was actually part of another little dance crew, but then I was taken out when I was younger because my mom didn't like the songs that they chose. And so, and it was,
Was it a religious background?
yeah, we'll get into that.
Okay. Right. Oh, here we go. We're unpacking everyone.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
This is
You got to get through the adversity so we can celebrate the triumph.
yes, absolutely. But like we're talking like Starship was the music. Like okay, like this was like back in like mid 80s. So I didn't get to dance with groups. So I was a studio kid for 2 months and that was it. And then I was pulled out. And for about 4 or 5 years, there's a lot of struggles with my older sibling and both of them. And so I was kind of ignored And then out of nowhere, I turned 13 and it was like the choke chain came on me and I couldn't do anything. So again, I would just be dancing in my room. And this time, big on Judy Garland. I was big in musicals back then, and like Grease.
Yeah.
And so I would just do that again in my room and just kind of hide from that shift and changeover. And then I went to high school. I went to performing arts high school. I was actually a musician for many years.
Wow.
I was the number one clarinetist in this.
Clarinetist,
Yep.
musician. That's another moniker right there. Name dropper.
Yep. So I was the number one clarinetist in the state of Nevada for 3 years in a row. I was also a bari sax player, so I played jazz, funk, and fusion.
Wow.
And then I went to Las Vegas Academy of International Studies in Performing and Visual Arts. That's what it was back then. Yeah.
And you were dancing there.
And
I
I
find
was
dance school to be really, really good.
Well, the dancers there, I took a dance class in high school. And so
Here we go.
I took one dance class and the girls were talking shit.
Oh, yeah.
I was a very angry high school student. I used to fight a lot. So, I told the teacher that I was like, you know what, they're talking shit. I'm not going to do it. And she was like, well, maybe just get better. And I said, well, fuck you. Sorry, I'm not doing
Yeah, no, you're good.
But I was like, you know what, I'm out.
Hey.
And then I got into a fight with one of the girls.
Like physical fight.
Yeah, yeah.
So, question for you, and then I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine.
Is this the need to keep everything organized and perfect finally like becoming frustration and manifesting to like you're frustrated, it's still not working, you're still not happy, and there's still
Yeah.
problems, and so now you're like literally trying to fight your way out of it?
Yeah, I was literally trying to fight my way out of everything. I was so angry and that nobody would listen to me because nobody was hearing me. And I felt like I had so much going on, but nobody saw me. But then I also wasn't allowing anybody to see me.
Because you didn't want to
Because
ruffle the water.
I didn't want to roughen the waters.
What were you feeling like when your mom pulled you out of the dance classes
Um,
after 2 months? Like, I want to know what your spirit felt like when it was taken away from you.
it was almost like this sense of just a ripping, right? So when I work with clients and we talk about trauma that happens into our body, right? Whether we have an embarrassment situation or any sort of trauma, we take parts of ourselves and we toss it, what I call our forest of shadows. And I felt like that she took control and took something from me to throw it in my forest of shadows that I didn't have the opportunity to do. And so I was very resentful. And so, but it never stopped me from dancing. It honestly made me more, I think without consciously understanding it, it really grounded me more in the fact that dancing really is my language, right? So music is my soul and dancing is my language. So I think what that did was it really just kind of grounded in me a sense of what's mine and that dancing is mine. And that's mine for me that nobody can take, but I didn't understand it back then. And so then I graduated high school and I had a full ride music education scholarship to UNLV. So I was going to be a music educator. So I went there for a semester and I went to my first frat party and that was it. I was done with school. I dropped out. The politics in music is just crazy. When I auditioned, I got the spot, like I got the highest score to be principal clarinetist, but because I was a freshman and a female, they gave it to the older male. I was always the one that was warming everybody up and tuning everybody and doing the rehearsals. And then at the time for the concert, he would just show up and get all the kudos. And so I was just over it. It had been years and years of being, and that was my experience in high school too. I had the highest score in my audition. They used my tape for examples of how to audition.
Wow.
And I still didn't get principal chair.
Right.
So it was just another push down of my own creativity because my creativity in my head was too much.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And at that point I was like, you know what? I don't want to be in this cycle and continue this even with the next generation.
Right.
And I know that I would have the power to change it, but at that point, it was like, that's not what I want.
And you left school after that.
I left school. I told my parents I didn't want to go, and I went out one night when I did go to that frat party, and I came home too late, and so my parents kicked me out. They were like, "You can't do this. You can't live like this. You have to be home by 10." I'm like, "I'm a freshman in college. You cannot tell me."
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So they were like, "Well, then you need to go." And so I didn't have anybody. I didn't have anywhere to go. I lived at Cafe Espresso Roma, which was across the street from UNLV, for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Um, and then I got extremely ill. And then my dad picked me up, gave me medicine, and then kicked me right back out again. And so my percussion TA, he was like, "Why don't you come over?" And I came over one night, and it wasn't anything romantic or anything like that. It was really like just a mentor situation.
Right.
And he made chicken parmesan in a little toaster oven. And we had a bottle of wine, and we spent about 5 or 6 hours. And he was really talking about life. And that was when I really woke up, I think, the first time to understanding that there was more to life than.
Right. Pull the lens back.
Yeah.
Picture.
Yeah.
Was there ever a part of you when you were homeless that felt relief, though, that you were no longer having to hold it together for other people?
Yeah. Yeah. I had a sense of freedom. Even though
Fun.
it's a weird feeling, right? Because when you're homeless, and especially in Vegas, um, it's scary. And down over by the university, it's on Maryland Parkway in Flamingo, Tropicana. So it's like
Right.
there's a hum
Uh-huh.
over there. And it was very quiet during the evenings. The quietest it got was anywhere between like 2 and 5 a.m. And then the cafe would open up. But I would sit there in those moments, and it was, again, even though I was scared, I wasn't frightened. But I had a sense of relief. And I didn't understand why.
Really all the oppression.
Yeah. And so I just kind of went with that. And then Mark, who was my percussion TA, he let me in, and I stayed with him for a couple of months. Got a job and got a roommate and got an apartment.
There you go.
And that's where I just started, one foot after the other. Yeah. So
So you get a job, you get an apartment.
I get an apartment, and then I am an underground raver. So
Oh,
I was
another
underground
moniker
30.
we're adding there. And meanwhile, we missed that she started dancing.
Yep. So I went to my first rave, and we used to party at this place called the Candy Factory in Vegas,
Yeah.
which was all the way down north of Industrial. And so I started dancing, and in that capacity. Um, and then I also did drugs in that capacity
Right.
too.
One thing led to another.
One thing led to another. So I used to do, I used to roll a lot. So XT was my big thing. Um, and I went to the very first ever Electric Daisy Carnival.
Oh my gosh.
And it was in a dried up water park in Barstow. And I remember that trip. My friend Joshua is just coming through, so I'm channeling right now. So through. He's another one of the
Energy healer. That's I
yep.
said that.
He's another one of the angels who was dropped into my world to help bridge and guide me into that next level.
Sure.
And that's when I really started kind of getting into a misread dynamic, but it was more of like
I was going to ask if your hair, if you started dyeing your hair.
I have been red since 14 years old, and I've been other colors. I've been a hair model, and so I've been teal and black and, brunette and blonde and platinum and yellow and fire and all of the different colors. I've been long and short, and I had half my head shaved and all the way down here when I met Vanessa. So, so my hair has always been a big part of my experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Journey.
Yeah.
And that's how we find you on stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's easy to find you.
It's
And then
easy
you
to
can't
find.
stop watching.
And then you can't stop watching.
That's your hook, and
Yeah.
then you reel them in.
Yeah. Because once I get you in, then I'll keep you in.
What happens next? You're raving. You're on drugs.
How
How bad does it get? Where do we go from there? How do you get out of it?
It gets pretty bad. So the Electric Daisy Carnival, I had a whole experience. I drove out there with one person, met my friends, went to her house, got ready, came to the party from another person, was going to get a ride home with Joshua. And uh, I didn't really eat or drink anything. I was smoking weed all day. And I get to the party and I'm in line, and the line's probably, a good 10, 15 people thick, and a good quarter mile long. So I'm standing in line and I pass out. And I wake up and I'm on a fence and I've got paramedics looking at me and they're like, what drugs did you do today? I was like, I just smoked weed. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And they're like, drink some water. And they're like, okay, she's good to go. So I go into the party. I drop my first pill.
Oh my God.
I'm supposed to meet the Vegas people. I'm supposed to meet Joshua by the big slide at 1 a.m. And then I don't see him there. And someone's like, oh, there's a Vegas corner. And I was like, oh, okay, great. So then I pop my second pill. And then I lost about 3 to 4 hours that night. I remember at one point, somebody came up to me and she was like, Misha, because that's my nickname. Misha, are you okay? And all I remember saying was like, I just need Joshua. And she said, he's coming now. He took me into a porta potty and gave me an intervention at EDC. And we were in that porta potty for 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And he was like, this is one thing I love about Joshua. You would have loved Joshua. He's no longer here. He was like, I only hang out with pretty people and you are not pretty right now. And I was tore up. I had a chipped tooth, a black eye, dirt all over my face. I was fucked up, man.
Yeah. It was like your rock bottom.
It was my rock bottom. And I was living like that. And I was at the point right now where I was partying pretty much almost every other night. And I was popping 2 to 3 pills a night.
Oh my God.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
incredible. So what was the process like after the intervention of you getting your life together? Was it hard? Was it?
It was challenging at first, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Addiction runs in my family. Alcoholism runs in my family, my older brother and sister. So I got clean with Joshua's help, and it was great for a while. Then I got into another round of drugs. So I've gone through 3 rounds of addictions with hardcore drugs. The second time was with Coke for a long time. That was definitely my big thing.
You're getting older. It's progressing.
Yeah. And then after that, I got into speed. And meth is a nasty drug. And I'm very thankful. My partner that I'm with now, I actually met him while I was doing speed. And I was working in a call center. So I've been doing sales for a very long time.
You're doing it like daily, like when you were going to work and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was a size 2 when I met my partner.
That's not where you should be, but
that's right.
Wild.
Yeah. That was extremely unhealthy.
Were you just the most productive worker at the whole place?
I was closing $5-6 grand a day. And
and you were explaining it to yourself that this is what you needed in order to be to be your best.
Yeah, I was at the state where I was like, you know what, I'm getting stuff done. I was up, I was doing things, I was going, and I was also in an unhealthy relationship with my body. And so I actually told my partner he was going out with me. He'd never been to a rave, and I was like, you're going out with me. And he was like, okay.
Did he know you were that intel?
He didn't know.
Did he do anything?
No, he came from Midwest.
That's a lot of red flags to dump on someone in 2 weeks of dating.
Yeah. And I
still stuck around.
Yeah. And because I told him, I was like, I have to tell you, I was like, I've been doing speed this whole time. And he was like, well, it's drugs or me. He was like, I just, that's not my style.
But you got clean.
I got clean. We picked up a month later and moved to Texas.
From
Vegas
to Texas. It's not a huge leap.
No, and I was born in Dallas, and he was born in Fort Hood. So we both just were like, you know what? Fuck it.
You started playing family.
And we kind of started playing house, and then September 11th, 2001, I found out I was pregnant as the second plane was going in the tower. And so I come out of the bathroom in Texas. We have no furniture, and we have a small, 13-inch screen TV. And we're watching the news, and I come out. Here we go, because I wasn't planning on having kids.
Or one of those towers dropping that.
Yeah.
Did you relapse ever again after that, or did you ever do anything, or were you
No,
good after?
I was good after that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, when my daughter, when they were about 3 or 4, I had a little round of, 8 balls here and there.
Were you testing yourself?
Yeah.
Or were you just like, I think I can handle it?
I was testing myself, and I wanted to see, like, if I could just go out and have a party, have a couple drinks, a couple lines. And I knew that after the 3rd line that I couldn't stop myself. And I was like, I
You
can't
know
do
what
this.
that feels like. You're going to that different person that
Yeah,
will do it.
I
You
know.
don't like.
Yeah, I started to feel this craving. It's almost like a hand coming up to pull it down, and I felt the hand coming up, and I said, I gotta stop. That's when I was like, okay, I've leveled up, and I still didn't even consciously understand that,
Right.
but I just knew that I was like, okay, this isn't for me. So I've been a flower girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I smoked weed, got drunk, and had sex for the first time in one day, all 3.
Wow. You love like momentification. It's just
Yeah, I do.
getting trapped in. You have the bundle pack.
Yeah, it is the bundle pack. It really is.
I
Yeah.
love that so much. I can't believe that we just went from a raver
Mhm.
to someone who was addicted to drugs
Yeah.
to living in Texas, and now you're a mom.
Yeah.
What were you thinking in your head with this transition?
I was not accepting of the change initially. I actually dissociated from my pregnancy.
Oh.
Um, the When I was out in Texas, I had a friend, Hillary, and I put her in charge of my pregnancy. I'm like, you're in charge of texting me, knowing when my doctor's appointments are. I detached. It was
Maybe not.
it was rough. Um, I My hormones naturally are a struggle that I have worked uh, consistently and tirelessly on recreating and connecting with my hormonal experience. So me pregnant is not a fun experience at all.
Did you feel any of those moments that people describe, like when the baby's kicking in, like you have a connection? You're like, you
I had a
connected?
little bit when they both were kicking a little bit, because I think it was more of an acceptance of the fact that this is it. Like, I am having them. And what type of mother do I want to be? Because I was born from a narcissistic bipolar mother who I was born into competition with. So I have been competing my whole life and I didn't even realize it, which is a whole nother aspect of the whole too much.
That destroys you.
Yeah. So I was like, I refuse to the core of my experience, like the cellular depth of my core, to be like my mother. And so I did everything I could in my power to be the opposite. And I, as I was working to mother my children the way I wanted to be mothered, was when a lot of the healing happened. And it really just started with open communication. I was taught, you're the girl, you're the woman, you are supposed to be seen, not heard. Your goal is to make sure that you look pretty every day. Make sure that when you grow up that you meet a nice boy and that you need to get married right away. You need to have children right away. And your purpose is to make sure that your husband is cared for and satisfied.
Wow.
And
Talk about grooming. That's not even LGBTQ.
look, I'm
It's
more safe with my LGBTQ plus I family
yeah.
than I've ever been with my. I'm no contact with my family. My parents are extreme right-wing Christians, and which is interesting because I'm a first-generation American on my dad's side. So, my dad is an immigrant. And so going through this dynamic of where we are politically right now in
Right.
general,
Right. I don't want to see what the residual side effects are, how they're feeling. You don't know if they're shaking on the inside a little bit.
I kind of do.
It's not worth it.
But I kind of already know that they are. I've had to go through it really, my whole life growing up with my mother was it had always been this, again, this competition that I didn't realize I was in, but I knew that I could feel like I had to do something. And either she was pitting me against my sister or comparing me to like her friends' children or, you know what
You're
I'm
always
saying?
a disappointment.
Always a disappointment. But yet when we were in public, I was the star,
Yes.
right?
They'll praise you in public,
Yeah.
but not even give you a hug or like tell you that they love you.
Yeah, and that changed, you know, when I remember when I was very young, I was just talking to my partner about this. I was, you know, like 5, 6, I could remember, like, we used to have lots of big family barbecues. So my whole family lived in Vegas. My dad's side of the family, aunts, uncles, cousins, and we used to go to everybody's house every weekend, have big barbecue. And these were the times of my life where I felt so happy and free and things were great. My mom was laughing. She would have a drink in her hand. She would have a smoke, and she would just be her. She's an LA born, California blonde, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, like she drove a 68 Mustang in 1968. She was a basketball player.
She was jealous of her own children.
And yeah, and she had been through a lot. And I think it's taken me a long time to realize and connect the fact that as I've gone through the healing of detaching that mother wound energy, that she's a woman and she had abusive relationships and she had trauma and she had all of these things. And she chose to go this particular route for her healing, which doesn't align with me. And, you know, I was always supportive of her doing that. Um, but when I would choose my direction, it wasn't supported and it was Jezebel.
Yeah, of course.
Ye
Yeah.
It took my oldest child to give me the strength to stand up to my mom.
Mm.
My oldest child is a trans man, and they, are an amazing human, and they've been through multiple different experiences within their life and expressions, and I knew from a very young age that they were queer. It was just a matter of what's the exploration gonna be like?
It's the intuition.
Yeah.
I just need the details of this path. I
Right.
know we're on it.
But we know, yeah.
We've taken a
We
left turn.
we're
We've taken a left turn onto the
yeah,
LGBTQ
yeah.
highway.
We know we're here, so now we get to see, you know, how does this, you know, play out? And so even before they knew that they were trans, they were, you know, gay, but they just exploring, right? And for me, I've always told my children, you know, it doesn't matter who you are or how you express yourself, as long as your intentional frequency and the expression of who you are is from truth and authenticity and love, then we can work through and learn from mistakes and heal them and educate and move forward. And, you know, no matter what, you know, I would always tell them since they were 2, has anybody told you how special you are today? Because you're very special. And has anybody told you how important you are today? You're extremely important.
Yeah.
Has anybody told you have I told you how much you can talk to me about anything and everything, no matter what, even when you're 16 and you hate me at that point?
Yeah.
Because you still can. And then have I told you how much I loved you today? And those are the 4 things that I say to my kids every day. Because and I say it to the people that I care about in my life because it's extremely important to realize that while nobody is special, everybody is special.
There's a
And
difference.
there's a difference. And your experience, your human, the fact that you are here, the fact that you are here, the fact that I'm here, is no coincidence.
Yeah.
We're here for a reason. And the scavenger hunt is the experience of life, right?
Right.
And I say this a lot with my clients or to it's just in my general life experience, you know, we came here as energetic frequencies coming to live a human life experience through the senses of our body. Right. And so everything that we do is a sensual experience. It may not be a sexual experience,
Right.
but it's a sensual experience. And so I think which, you know, ties in and helping younger youth realize that they're allowed to explore life
Right.
through their senses and being able to have a safe place and a safe space and a safe person to talk through the confusion or the conflicts that come.
Like each one of the monikers that you have, mom, astrology, intuitive. Like we could do a whole podcast on each one of
Yeah.
those. I could listen to you talk forever
I know.
about it, and I love it. You were part of the Russian Orthodox Church, right?
Yes. So my oldest child had come out, and they were very, you know, this is who I am.
Were they nervous to come out, or because
Oh
they
no.
knew you, they knew that you were really
Oh
fine?
yeah. I was really,
Scared.
yeah, they knew that I was
About it.
really great. Yeah.
This is another thing I
I
can't
came
wrap
out
my
to
head
my
around,
oldest in the cat food aisle at Fred Meyer.
and just told them.
I was like,
Yeah,
and this is when
yeah,
I thought I was only bisexual versus,
yeah.
who I am
Totally.
now.
Again, it's like something that I couldn't possibly dream of. Having a parent that's like mature enough to make you feel so comfortable is just not really an issue.
Yeah.
Because you have probably other uncomfortable decisions your whole entire life with your parents.
Oh yeah.
That's where it leads into, and we can get it. That's another podcast too, is the
Yeah.
whole like sexuality thing. I'm fascinated to know. I'm very similar when people go from strict, regimented religious backgrounds to like completely
Yeah. I am.
different
Yeah,
side.
I
For
went, and
sure.
this is actually, so I have a podcast. I have it kind of, it's quiet right now. I'm working and building back up to it. But my very first episode of my podcast is called Cookie Apocalypse, because I remember uh it was the very end of 2018. Now I was a beach body coach for a very long time.
Mm,
And I was extremely unhealthy. Um uh and so I started doing beach body, and I'm thinking, this is it, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life, and blah 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 blah. When it was not what I was going to do for the rest of my life.
right.
But I had a meditation one morning, and in this meditation, that was the first time that my spirit guide came through. And my spirit guide is my uncle, Alex. I never met him. He died of leukemia before I was born. And I knew it was him just because I just knew.
Yeah.
And so I was in this meditation, and not only did he come through, but also Mary Magdalene and Goddess Isis had come
Oh
through.
my God. It
And
was a full house
it
that
was a
day.
full house that day, and it had come to express to me and share with me that, my purpose in this world, in this particular lifetime, which in multiple lifetimes, I was a madam in multiple different lifetimes before. So
That's
only,
another podcast we could talk about.
I know, but it realized that sex was my work. And because sex was my work, that had gone against everything that I had been beat down from my mom, that, Jezebel,
Same.
sin, shame, terribleness, right? So,
It's also not polite to talk about sex,
oh God.
which is why I love you so much now, because you sometimes you do it as a shock value just because we think it's fucking hilarious to
Yeah.
laugh,
Yeah.
but also because like we can generally do that, and like
Yeah.
that's you to be like
It is.
say whatever comes to mind and mean it.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that,
But
and when I do,
nothing shocks me, but it's
yeah.
still funny that you just put it out there. Like
Yeah.
when I saw you at Gay Pride,
Yeah.
the Pride celebration here, we chatted, we're having a good time, and you're like, I gotta go home. Like I'm gonna go home, smoke a bowl, and get banged for a few
Yeah.
hours. Just like, and I'm just like, I laughing. You're like, there she is.
Yeah. I have to. I mean,
And Mark is like, what? And, I'm
yeah.
like, and she means it.
And I mean it.
She means
And
it.
I sure as fuck did.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
And my partner, that's the thing. See, my partner is very behind the scenes.
For some reason, there's an evolution where you need to do things for you again, and
Yeah.
dance came back to you.
Yeah, I actually
Dance
came back to me. So I initially met Vanessa at the end of 2018, in October.
Yes.
2018, because she was doing a glow up event. So she was holding a glow up event, and she wanted like different types of people for like tables and stuff like that. And so somebody tagged me to do a tarot table.
Okay.
And so I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I came and I set up the table, and I started talking to Vanessa, and there was an instant, like I already knew that, she was that bitch.
Right. Right.
And
y'all were gonna be those bitches together.
yeah, and
You just didn't know how you're gonna get there.
yeah, exactly. And so so we did the event, and I shared a little bit about, the sexology work and the sex magic and how I work with clients.
Right. And she lives for that because she does Reiki and stuff, right?
Yeah. And so we did that. And then I was complaining for God, a fucking year. And I was like, I just need to dance again, and blah, 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 blah. And so she was like, would you just fucking get your ass in the studio? And so it was a Tuesday night hip hop. 7:30 hip hop.
Here
Y'all
we
know
go.
that class.
Here we go, everybody. That was the sweat box. That class stinks. It is wet in the floor. Everybody's clothes are wet. Their hair is wet.
It is.
That class is loud. They are screaming there. It is everything.
It is the class,
It
right?
is the class Tuesday night, 7:30. It's
Yeah.
not there.
And it's still happening now. And so I went there and I walked up in there like, look, I got this shit.
Did you?
And I did not.
You're hyping yourself up. Oh, did you almost die?
I
Like limping and
I was
sore.
I couldn't get the choreography.
Oh shit.
Because choreography I could create it,
Mm.
but following
Never picked up.
along
Yeah.
and that's not my gig.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the class, I left, I drove home and I cried the entire way home.
Uh-huh.
And then I went back that next Thursday because
You
I
did.
was like, you know
Yes,
what?
that's because you are that bitch.
I'm that
This is how you never needed people like me or other people in your life to tell you you could do this because you have always told yourself.
yeah. And I didn't
And
still
it's
even
helpful to have
understand.
someone else back it up, but
Yeah, and I think, and back then too, especially because again, going from, us being a street dancer and underground dancer is far different than a studio kid,
uh-huh.
a studio style.
Yes.
And so, I had to go back on Thursday and come at it from a place of I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And
That's okay.
that's okay.
It's class.
Yeah. And so I kept going. And so by that time, and this was um 2 classes before they closed down for COVID. That's where you and I first met.
So that's where you auditioned for the company.
Yes, because I was going to class and Vanessa told me, she was like, "You're auditioning." And I said,
How long have you been
"You're
going to class from the first class you took until auditions? How many weeks, months?
3, 4 months maybe."
Okay, that's significant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would
And
not have told you to audition if she didn't think you were ready at that point, or if it
right,
was going to be traumatic.
right. She wouldn't have told me if she didn't see something.
Yes.
Right. And so, and I think you and I,
Because we don't humor people. We don't humor people.
no, and you and I we spoke one time, and that was, I think it was just very light in passing. Because like Isha was working the desk, and it was just I was just
Yes.
barely there.
And you were sitting by yourself, like on the side.
Yep. And I remember posting on Facebook, and I was like, "You guys, I was told that I should audition for this dance company. I'm not sure if I should do it or not."
Yeah.
And you were the very first comment.
I wish we could go back and look at that memories.
I'm
If it
going
comes
to
back up on
look.
memories, let's pull it.
I'll find it.
I want to see what I said. I want to
Yeah.
see what I said
Because
when I read stuff that I write sometimes down the road, I'm like, who wrote that?
yeah.
That's good. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well, it was because you were like, and I was like, I don't get, first of all, the fact that you knew who I was.
oh, I knew. I knew who you were for sure.
Right. But like,
It's just like that thing of like, I mean, I saw you in the studio all the time, and I knew that there was something there that you were getting that you needed from the studio.
yeah.
I knew that it was working for you, but I didn't feel like the need to come to your rescue or anything because I feel like it's convenient to women to be like, you need help with something.
Yeah.
But I paid attention to you because I could feel that there was like a moment happening. It was more than just wanting to take dance class. It was like something that you needed.
Yeah.
And it was because you had spent a little bit of time there before or after class. You weren't like a bolt in, bolt out.
Yeah.
You kind of reflect a little bit.
Yeah.
And probably catch your breath and rest. And then
And then I was watching, back then at that point, right? It was a lot of like Gwen, Andrea, and Isha, and Christian, and they were really fantastic dancers.
But if not you, then who? That's what you always have to say to yourself. If not you, then who?
Right. And so you told me, and you were like, you know what? Even if you don't make it, it's so important to go on any and all auditions. So that way you can see what the process is like.
Yeah.
And then you can see where you're at. Like, who are you in that moment in time? And I was like, you know what? And again, I cried because I cried everything. But
I just wrote it, but then we had a conversation in the studio. You told me, you're like, hey, I saw what you wrote.
Yeah. And you were like, you know what? You should just do it.
Yeah.
Go for it. And no matter
if you don't go, you won't know. And if you don't get it, you have insight into what happens in that room so you can make the changes. Number 3, it's like just have the courage to do it because you're going to get bolder and bolder. There's less mystery. There's less fear.
Yes. You make a mountain out of it and then you get to it and you're like, oh, it's not even as big as I thought I made it out to be.
Right. It's just like the easy thing to be would be to stay home because it's safer. But the thing is, like, I would go to auditions all the time. I knew I was no way in hell I was going to get it, but I wanted to see how it worked. I wanted to see the insight, so that way I know that's the person who's getting the job. How are they working? And
Yeah.
this is their expectation. I'm watching the producers. I'm spending time with them. So when I come back stronger and with like better ammunition, they're like, "Oh, that bitch like was paying attention."
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, you're expressing an interest in the dance company.
Yeah.
So even if they're like, it's not your time, they're like, she been coming. Like,
Yeah.
it's so crazy too because like I had a lot of nerve like telling you to do something like that because it could have set you up in a situation to be disappointed. But I felt like you were going to be okay.
Yeah.
But also, I'm like, if she doesn't get it, then like I'm gonna have to have another conversation to make sure that it really gelled, that you're
Yeah.
okay, because that's not okay to push someone and then like.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like it
But
was like a push.
no, no, no.
I
It was
felt
just
like it
like
was like full
I
support.
think I saw it in you.
Yeah.
I was like,
And
she can do this, and she's like, all I see is she's questioning herself, and I seen you how you worked in class because we
yeah.
had all those glass walls.
Yeah.
So you could watch every class.
Yeah.
Like I saw how you worked in class, and I knew that you were like, I didn't know how long you've been dancing or if you had like, picked up,
Yeah.
after a certain time period.
Yeah.
But I was like, is there. Like this woman has drive. Like she is driving, but I can also see a lot of self doubt and a lot of questioning
Yeah.
right now. Like she's not really sure who she is in this space right now.
Yes.
And she's like searching for where she belongs. So I
100%.
was like, bitch, well, let's get you in the first place. The first
Yep.
place is gonna be elevate you out of this class and get you into the company.
Yep.
And it was like a rocket. Like once you made the company, you took the fuck off.
Yeah,
I mean,
I did.
you start taking class differently.
Yep.
You were always serious, but it just
Oh, yeah.
elevates. You start taking more classes. You started working
Yeah.
in class from a different respect. You stopped working as like just a student and as an art and started working
Yeah.
as an artist.
Yeah, and I
You
was
started
like,
applying your creative mind in technique class as
yeah.
well. The natural next step was you were in the company.
Yeah.
Not only are you in the company, you start becoming a rising star of the company.
Yeah.
You're working your ass off,
Yeah.
which is what good dancers do, baby.
Yeah.
Always improving, always growing in all
Yep.
directions. And then you start teaching. And I
Well,
remember you
this
being,
didn't
there was so
actually
much trepidation when you
this
first started
didn't happen until after. So my first heels class it was actually a jazz funk class, and she was doing electricity. And she was like, "It's gonna be heels," and she told me to grab some heels. I went to the mall. I went to Windsor, and I grabbed
Had you
these.
danced in heels before, though?
I never danced in heels.
Really?
Never. I started dancing in heels in March, April of
Oh, God.
2021.
Wow, I thought you had danced in heels before.
No,
Oh,
I was never a heels dancer.
yes, mama. That
Yeah,
is hard
I
too. And your body was changing rapidly during that
rapid.
time.
Yeah, so I took my first heels class and I fell in love. And I was like, "Oh, this
Oh,
is
this is
it.
it.
This is it." And
This is
so
it.
there were no heels classes on the schedule because Vanessa had taken them off because nobody was coming to them. And
Right.
so I started doing private lessons with Vanessa in heels. And so, and I was already also doing private lessons with hip hop. So I started doing weekly lessons with Vanessa.
That's it.
And so we did it in heels, and we practiced. My first love show was in 2022,
Mm-hmm.
and we had been practicing on my lessons on a chair piece, and that was my first time doing a
I
chair
don't
piece.
remember if is that the one that I went to that was like so well produced.
It was in the it was at the
incredible.
Holt Center.
And
Yeah,
we
we did
were
cell
talking
block
about you the
tango.
whole time.
Yeah,
And I was like, both Mark and I were in the balcony somewhere.
yeah,
Orlando.
yeah,
We went up to the balcony on purpose to be away from like all the students and just kind of
yeah,
watch.
yeah,
And we were both like, oh my God,
yeah,
like, I'm so glad she auditioned for the company. Like, she is like on fire. Like, it's just crazy.
yeah.
And then you had the confidence to not be dancing in heels and then go from that to teaching class in heels.
To
Not
teaching,
only that, but you are like highly coveted. I met someone who took your class last weekend who was like, they posted a video on Instagram of a class, and I wrote, "Hey, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were taking class. Yeah, that's where I teach." And they're like, "Really?" Like, yeah, I took Michelle's class. I love it so much, and I was like, "See,
yeah.
this is like that's when I feel like a proud moment. Now that I created you, not that I,
No, but
but
no,
to
because
watch your
there's a
journey and to have
yeah.
someone be like, Michelle is such an incredible teacher that like I will be back to like work with her again."
So I started teaching after that. And when I started teaching, I was back as a beginner in my training.
Right.
And so it was like I had to retrust myself, retrust my body. Uh, but, uh, I started teaching and then I started expanding more. And then I realized, I'm ready for the expansion. And, um, there wasn't a heels troupe here that was the style for me.
Yes.
I come from R&B, neo soul
Right.
background, and
Right.
I come from a lot of like real like
This was the evolution.
Yeah.
This was it. Because when you started teaching, I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
This is going to build the confidence she needs, but it's such a different leap to move to choreographer, creative
And
director,
creative
or to start your
artistic.
own
Yeah.
artistic director.
Exactly.
Because that's visionary.
It
It's a
is.
lot. And so I was like, I can't, I'm done with her now. That was the moment when I opened my hand and you
Yep.
flew out of
Exactly.
like the bitch has a company now. Now I'm gonna go to Portland and go watch them kill it on
Yeah,
stage. Literally.
and literally, I mean, so I created Sirens Heels Co. and I held my auditions and we started small, with 5, and I've had a few auditions since that first one, and we've had a couple in and out, so we've grown a little bit.
Right.
But I'm very particular with the people that I bring into this bomb. This
Instrument.
They are instruments, and they are, there's a vision that I have and a style of movement that I have, and
That's their job.
that's their job.
Their job is to adore and admire your work so much that
Yeah,
they want to dance
that
like
they
you.
want to.
And if that's not clicking, it's not symbiosis. It's not working.
Exactly.
And you can't force it.
And not everybody
Yeah,
made
one
his
of
auditions.
No,
And that was probably the hardest thing the very first time I held auditions, because not everybody made it. And it's very, you don't want to be on the other side of like the rejection aspect.
happened.
But yeah.
And what they need to buck up.
Yeah.
They need to take your class more.
Right.
They need to work
Exactly.
harder.
Exactly. And for me as a choreographer, I do a lot of framework. I'll give you the framework, I'll give you the intention, and I'll give you the easel and the canvas, but I want to see your art come through that.
And that requires trust.
And that requires trust.
And people will show you really quickly if you can't trust them.
Exactly.
They've been a company for 2 years?
I've had Sirens for a year and a half. So in May of 2026 will be 2 years.
And they're performing like all over the state of Oregon and now also like in LA.
Yeah, we're working. We've applied to LA places, also in Vegas. And, we're working on some other big things that we're trying to get in for the 2026 year. And
follow the Sirens on Instagram. If they're booked in this area, you must go see them. They are magnetic. They're hypnotizing. They're so fierce. They're really sexy. It's incredible.
And that's the biggest thing with me, with my choreography. My intention and purpose is, it's set on a whole experience. I want you to feel like you're kind of going through an acid trip, like you popped a tab or something, and then here you go. I want you to feel the energy that we're giving. I want you to feel like you've just gone through an entire experience. You've been edged multiple times. You finally came, and now we're done. We're off stage.
Yeah, and it is like that.
And it is like that.
And the one thing I'll say is that one of your defining skills with choreography is that when the number's over, you always wish it would keep going.
Yeah.
You started here in Eugene, you kept it small at first, now you're traveling.
Yeah. We've got Sirens based in Portland, and we have Sirens based here. And so now we've grown. So I've got 2 levels. So now I have a larger group where I'm able to cast for different casts and different shows.
So wild.
It's super
wild.
It is. It's amazing. I mean, and there's so many times too. Let me tell you, I fired everybody a gazillion times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to handle all 6 parts by myself.
You have to go completely fucking insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have to. And you have to act a fool.
Yeah.
And you have to be a diva. And then you have to apologize for being a diva.
Yeah.
And then you have to figure your group out, and you have to let the whole thing fall apart, and you have to put it back together again. I don't know if we had this discussion, but I was watching this with Mark again. Bozma St. John is a marketing CEO who was she was the CEO of marketing for PepsiCo, for Beats by Dr. Dre, for Amazon, for Netflix, and she saved Uber when they went under for marketing.
Yeah.
5 companies she had corner windows as the chief marketing officer or higher up. She's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the one thing she'll say is like, when someone gives you a compliment, do not tell them thank you.
Yeah.
Because they didn't give you a favor. They're just pointing out. You just go, yep, or I know.
Yeah.
Or absolutely. Like you are so good at what you're doing. Just go, I know.
Yeah.
Because the moment you do that, you're not only being truthful to yourself and supporting yourself, but you're not pandering to them by being like, no.
Yeah, no, and you're honoring
You're disrespecting what someone just told you.
Yeah.
Acknowledge that what they just said was correct.
100%.
Then you can say, thank you for noticing if you want, but it should be a fact. And when you start living your life like, I deserve this.
Yeah.
or and it doesn't have to lead into the area of arrogance, but just respecting yourself enough to that humility thing. It's the only thing of the old days that I think we've changed that we should go back to. The rest of it, we've completely lost respect and how to decor and how to carry ourselves with class. But they did teach us to like say thank you for so
Yeah.
many things and not to thank yourself.
Yeah.
It's true. What they're saying is
Yeah.
absolutely true. It's hard
Yeah. Because,
because you don't give yourself credit for anything
right.
anymore.
Because, and that goes back into that, and, I mean, we can go back into that witch wound and that competition dynamic, right? Especially with
Yeah.
white women and with women in general. But like, there's this dynamic where it's like, if you were to just say, yeah, I am,
Right.
I am great
Yes.
at this,
Yes.
then it's that, oh, well, you think you're better than, no, I didn't say that.
No.
I just said I'm great at
But
this.
genuinely, when I say I'm so proud of you, I don't expect a response. I'm genuinely just putting that out there because I have to.
Yeah.
It's inside me and I cannot hold on to it. I got like, girl, I am so proud of you. You are doing that. Now, producer, two aspects of producing that I think are like the biggest that you are. There's a million growing pains, the logistics,
God.
and there's money involved now.
Look.
Your reputation on the line.
Yes.
The biggest thing now is when you're paying people, you get into the machine.
Yep.
So how are you dealing with the weight of it? And
Well,
is it worth it? When is it worth it? Are you taking that moment to say, thank you? This is the example of how I give 6 questions. I need to stop.
yeah, no, this is all of it is fantastic, first of all, and it all ties into one they all tie into each other. So I think the biggest thing, I'm handling it one breath at a time,
Uh-huh.
even if it's shaky. It's a scary thing being a producer of a show. I have great mentors. I have you, I have Vanessa, I have Katana DeVille. And watching people create and lead shows, um and seeing how they move within their dynamic, watching
Because you're intuitive.
yeah, absolutely, 100%. I've been first chair, I've been top, I've been, and that's just where
You're gonna do it. You're gonna
yeah, I'm not gonna half-ass it. I'm gonna put my whole thick ass, juicy ass in the whole thing, and I'm gonna let it all out there. And that's how we're gonna do it. And so, with this show, I had to cancel the last one.
Yes, and that's the thing. You've been through setbacks,
Yeah.
but you're not down and out.
No.
You're down, but you're not out.
Right.
And it's called Triple Escape.
Yes.
And it is risque, it is sophisticated, it is fun,
Sexy,
it is sexy.
seductive.
It is not nasty, it is not inappropriate. It's just not for people who are not ready to be comfortable in a group setting and explore that situation. And there's not like over nudity, and it's not
No, it's very
not what people might
I say
think.
the word tasteful very lightly because I think people can take that word, but it's very it is magnetic, it is magical.
I'm
There's
always like, it is sexy. It is sexy and it is sexual and it is provocative. But remember, these are artists that are doing
yes.
this. This is not people who are here to make a buck or like they're doing the hustle to survive.
Yeah.
This is the underlying thing is that these are
The
artists.
intention of
So
the
it's always
show.
going to be from an artistic standpoint.
Absolutely.
They want to push the boundaries of stuff that dancers never get to do because it's not appropriate.
Exactly. And that's the intention of the show is to create a safe space, not only for the performers to be able to explore the sexual and sensual dynamic of their exploration of their bodies, their art, their frequency, but it also provides an opportunity for those who are either open or curious or allowing themselves to receive the frequency of that sensual expression in a safe space, right? So while there's still it's dancing, there's performances, but there is a rooted, grounded intention of connection through sensuality.
Right.
And I think as performers, again, I was raised in Vegas. I mean, I grew up seeing asses all over cabs. I grew up at
So many
strip
friends that
clubs.
did those shows. Even Bally's Jubilee, like the topless shows, the boys like
Yeah.
you have to be in a dance battle. You wear a thong. Like,
Yeah.
I had a lot of friends who are amazing, talented.
Yeah. I went on that audition
It's a
in
different
Vegas,
form
and
of
it
art.
was absolutely.
It's so different, but they perform for audiences. I mean, look at the money they're making.
Yeah.
Like the production value,
Yeah.
all the costumes. Like
Yeah.
it's incredible.
And I mean, if we get into the basics of, sex sells, if you do it from a perspective of intentional connection, right? So when I put Sirens on and I create a piece, or even like with the show itself, there's a flow of calling you in. So there's that intrigue, that curiosity.
Right.
Then there's that sense of hypnotizing and getting you into that dynamic and allowing yourself to flow. And then there's the edging experience, right? So we're going to edge you throughout the whole show. And then there's, that final peak. And then you're gonna come and,
So
and you're gonna wake up. You're gonna have no idea what the hell just happened.
So it's so fierce, and it's like it is the conversation in dance that we've always wanted to have,
Yeah,
and we've moved into a time period post. The world is changing,
yeah,
and post Me Too movement, and women are empowered, and people are empowered, and it's not a matter of we want to shock you, and it's not something that we're going to do just for shock value,
no,
because that can be titillating as well.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong. There's a night out where I want to go and see people be as crazy as possible.
yeah,
But this is more of like this is a conversation we're ready to have, and if you're ready to have a conversation and you're comfortable enough,
yep,
they come and be part of it because you're going to learn some things, you're going to see some things, and it's all and fun and like
yeah,
safe and never a part where I'm like, wow, it just feels like indecent or someone's put in a situation where they're
uncomfortably or sexually
yeah.
unconsenting.
Yeah. Everyone in the audience is on board with the messaging
Yeah,
and it's very comfortable. It's like chill, sit back, grab a glass of wine. And for those who don't know, every month when it's done regularly, there's a different theme
hmm,
for Triple Escape. And I'm going to let you explain how you've been kind of revamping.
yeah. Really, I'm super excited too. It's really like a different show
Yeah.
production
Yeah.
versus just acts kind of coming out kind of
It's an experience.
similar.
That was your next step in progression is like, now that you're producing a show, is that good enough? No.
Yeah,
Now how can I elevate?
yeah,
And now you are doing an immersive experience.
yeah,
And you're working on borderline on scripting and
yeah,
writing an entire show. So on Broadway, you're not just a choreographer anymore. You're also the director. You wrote the book. You
yeah,
wrote the lyrics.
yeah,
Like you're doing the lighting design.
yeah,
Like this is how you make yourself indisposable to the world.
yeah,
When you start doing every aspect, and it's because you get good at it. And in order to support your other areas where you're really good,
yeah,
I just need to write the book. When I
yeah.
just do this.
So
Yeah.
just write the book.
Yes. And if you ever need collaboration or inspiration, you know where to find it. But if not, you trust yourself
Yeah.
and you do it. And this show is going to be your next biggest thing. This is you elevating to the next level because you're already a producer.
Yeah.
Now you're going to elevate to that level of like, I don't just want to produce a show. I want every aspect. The music before, the
Yeah.
connection, the transitions and things.
Yeah.
I want the show to run like you press play at the beginning, 30 minutes before, and the show is gonna run.
Yeah.
And when you get to that level, then you're like, this is fierce.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I can
And I
add
can
pyro. Now I
see
can
it.
add
Like I
now I can add
see.
snakes. Now I can add pythons. Now I can add
Yeah.
Shakira coming down from the ceiling on a
Yeah.
like that's when you can start getting really nutty with it.
Yeah.
When you have that show so tight it can just run
Well,
through.
and it also too, it allows, I mean, I think when we get to that point as artists, as creatives, I think it's a matter too of being able to we're getting to that point within our own expression and creativity of weirdness, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
we get to that dynamic of pushing those boundaries a lot. And you find, right, most of your amazing artists that leave an impact on people are pushing the boundaries quite a bit, no matter
Right.
what, right? We've got
Right.
Lamar pushing the boundaries in his way. We've got Gaga pushing her boundaries. Janet, Michael
Yeah.
pushing their Prince.
You have to make people look at things from a different perspective, and even it makes them nervous.
Yeah, because it's the change. It's looking at a different perspective because it conflicts with specific ideologies,
Yeah,
programming that we have,
yeah,
which of course brings in back to the work that I do with people, which is why the show itself is like a whole immersive experience based with the intention of the work that I do in sexual transmutation and healing.
yeah. And also, they've seen the show, so it was never shock value, but even if it was shocking for them or a little bit different or jarring,
Yeah,
they've seen it 3 or 4 times, they're used to it now.
yeah,
So how do you continue to raise the bar? You're doing the natural exploration of, I did that already.
yeah,
I produced this show.
yeah.
It was great. Now I'm
Now,
gonna elevate it.
exactly. Like what is it that makes them want to come to see this show if they've already seen the same show, you know?
Right.
So, and that's what it was like, and that's why I had to take that pause because I wasn't who I am today.
Uh-huh. Back in, like, September?
Yeah.
August, maybe?
Even the New Year's like
Yeah, like,
January.
you were disappointed, but again, you always handle things emotionally so well where you're like, Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I tried.
Yeah, you're like,
legit.
unfortunately, I need to stop.
Yeah.
And that is the best thing to do because if not, you just create a bigger mess and then you're gonna be mad at yourself. And it's the people who push because they're like, I've got to, that people need me, that I've got to do the next project. And then they disappoint and then they're like, that can start to think of like, you've lost it.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't have it anymore, y'all. She's just washed up. Like you're not, if you get that deep in it and just start
Well,
pushing
and
out
you
shit.
feel that it's almost a sense of desperation to
And that's
keep
not where it
grasping,
comes
and
from. No.
that's not it. That's not the vibe.
But here you are
Yeah.
from raver all the way to producer, and now you're an elevated producer. It's
Yeah.
like that's just so
It's
wild.
really crazy
It's so
hearing
wild.
you say it, like I was thinking about that. I was talking with my friend this morning, and I was like, that as I was creating my playlist, like my life playlist, and it's amazing to be like, this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing, and I'm not perfect in anything, but I'm excited and exploring.
The crazy thing is that you've had to drag your entire life and everyone in it along on this journey because think about it. We've always had great communication and great sharing and a great friendship.
Yeah.
But the evolution from aspiring dancer who is insecure to now we're sitting by each other and we work in the same field. You're
Yeah.
like, you work on my level and you've always been respectful, but it was always kind of like, oh my gosh, she's done all these things. She's done all these things. And now I'm like, she's doing all these things.
Yeah.
She's doing it. Like,
Yeah.
this is what happens. Now we're on the same level. And like, I've always treated you with equal respect, but now
Yes.
you're learning and you're getting it. And I'm always like, I'm not gonna let you fall. I'll be here.
I know.
You got it. And like,
Yeah.
you just have like, it doesn't happen to everyone. There's no one else in this town that has risen from taking dance class very few short years later to creative directing a company and producing a show.
Yeah.
And the other dance companies in town keep shutting down. And you're opening dance companies during the hardest financial
Yeah.
time, and you're doing it because you're built for it. So it's good. Are you taking the time to tell yourself that you're proud of yourself? Are you giving yourself the same 4 speeches that you give your kids? And like genuinely stopping and saying, I am proud of myself. Like I am like,
Yeah, it is. It is. I think I actually just had this realization with myself over these last couple of weeks. I mean, especially in this eclipse season, but of really just allowing myself again to receive the acceptance
hard.
and receive the fact that, I'm rad. I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm a fantastic creator. I'm an amazing choreographer. I'm an amazing dancer. And while I know that there's always more room for growth and expansion and training and all of that, I can still accept the fact that I am also that now while I continue to do that.
Yes.
Because that's the whole life experience.
I can do this for days.
Yeah.
The next step we're going to take, which is going to be a continuation,
Yes.
we are going to go for a ride.
Yes.
And it's going to be so much fun. It's something I've never done before on my podcast. It's going to be Michelle's Carpool Tarot Karaoke.
Yep.
We are going to play songs from different milestones in our life and entertain each other with the humor of the things that we hear that trigger like certain pivotal moments in our life. And we're also going to do a tarot reading, which I've never done before, like a full thing.
Oh gosh, this is going to be so exciting.
Again, she reads tarot cards,
Yeah.
so that's another facet. And we're going to do it in a car while we ride around and listen to music and sing along and just be fools because I think that would be so indicative of us. Like, and I can't wait. I just love to hear music that like makes people think and makes people. So I hope that everyone has enjoyed this part of it. We're about to hop in the car, but remember, even at your starting point, that this is an example of someone who finds success. And the people I know best because they had it. And when you have it, you can't fight it. You can't deny it. If no one else believes in you, believe in you. But when other people tell you, believe them too sometimes. And I'm just so proud of you because this journey is just beginning.
Yeah.
You're fucking parties. You're on my level now. You're just beginning.
Yeah.
So what would I love more than anything, ego aside? I would love to see you eclipse me and just become like something that I am like, you don't even need me anymore. Can I just please have tickets to whatever you're doing?
You get life
you're going to be
backstage, front row.
I want to be in a nursing home at your show.
Yeah.
Like, somebody's gonna have to take care of me.
Yeah.
My family ain't gonna do it.
I got you.
I am like excited now because you have achieved everything that I felt and knew you could do. That's all I'm doing is just waiting around for you to tell me the next thing.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
I'm curious too.
Yeah, when they performed in Portland, saw friends, hung out. I had a wedding an hour south of Portland. And the plan was to go back to Eugene. I drove down to the wedding. While we were at the wedding, I looked on and realized that they were performing that night in Portland. We turned around, left the wedding, and drove straight back to Portland, opened our suitcase and all the clothes we had worn the night before, and showed up at the theater because I was like, I can't believe this. Like, the person who did not want to audition for the company because they were scared of rejection is being featured at this event at Dante's, and like, you're there.
Yeah.
You're there with everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so incredibly proud of you.
Thank you. So
And you've done it with grace, and you've done it with class, and you've done it from the most mature, emotional way that you have still managed to take care of people around you and still kept yourself humble, but you've been that bitch when you need to be that bitch.
yeah.
And protect the brand, girl.
Yeah.
Protect the brand.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be hurt, you better get in line with the brand. If not, I'm going to have to cut you.
Yeah.
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 The
Yes.
rest of it, the planning, the organizing, the bill paying, the
Yes.
hiring and firing,
Yeah.
that's the stressful part, though. When you get to the art part, you're like, "Shit, I need to do this. I gotta, like,
Yeah.
create something because I'm stuck in that."
Yeah.
And it's hard.
I
Like,
think that's where I've started to allow myself to, and what I'm working on now is trusting the artists that I'm hiring.
yes.
And
Yes,
that
yes, that's
and that
true.
they are professionals,
Mhm.
and I have to be able to release and let go of specific control,
Right.
especially when I'm on stage.
And
Yeah.
you get old, the more control you want,
Yeah.
but you get there, and you're there.
I'm there.
"Alright, let's go for a little ride."
Excellent. Fabulous.